Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, May 19th, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass. Tonight, we're going to cover basically the same topic, just in a different sort of way. As always, now, because I live in the United States of America 2.0, the Tel Aviv States of America, whatever you want to call it, Jerusalem 2.0. We have to open every show with the First Amendment to the Constitution, which is the law that we live under here in the United States of America. No matter which lobbyist or which donor group pays our politicians, this is the law of the United States. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, which is the entire premise of all of these YouTube videos, the federal casework, the Ro Khanna, Robert Garcia, Thomas Massie, the phone calls, on and on and on, a redress of grievances to my government because they peddle the flesh of innocent children for financial profit. They've done it for decades, and their only defense is everyone who knows about it has a mental health issue. And speaking of which, let's put on a little clip of Jim Breuer, because I find it ironic that, all of these other people can talk about peddling flesh, but when I say it, I get put on a mental health hold. So let me find the clip here if I have it handy. And we're going to play a couple of more clips. Let's see. This one right here.
Ever since the Epstein files have officially come out, it's like the elites and the cabal are throwing everything. They're using every weapon they can. Ever since the Epstein files have been dropped, and ever since the one country that's genociding another, ever since all the attention is off that. Have you noticed that? Let's not look at Epstein files. Let's not look at trafficking. Let's not look at drinking blood, eating humans. Let's not look at that. Let's worry about...
What did he say right there? Eating humans. Eating humans. Jim Brewer's words, not mine. It's in the Epstein files. To eating humans. But when I say that, documented on YouTube, I have a Midwest City Police Department come and kidnap me and put me on an 8-day mental health hold. The fourth one across 3 states. Because the whole world knows that we live in a country ran by cannibals. That's the truth. This is Truth News. We tell the truth. People hate the truth. Liars hate the truth. Cannibals hate the truth. Pedophiles hate the truth. Basically, everybody hates the truth that doesn't want to live in the truth. So I wanted to verify for documentation. This is the receipt where I sent the lawsuit to the U.S. court on 12th Street in Riverside County, citing the kidnapping and violent sexual assault of my 7-year-old son by serial child rapist state judge Kelly Hansen, who has thousands of victims over his 17-year career as a state judge. Innocent children. This one man, Kelly L. Hansen, has kidnapped, raped, murdered, tortured, sold, abused, using his position as a state judge to do whatever he wants to children and never be held accountable. And it is day 1713 since my son was kidnapped by Kelly L. Hansen. And the only thing that's happened is retaliation against me. But I digress. Let's get into tonight's show, and we'll talk about some retaliation shortly. But does anyone else notice I could sit here and say anything I wanted about Muslims? I could make jokes about them. I could disrespect them. I could talk about Allah all I wanted. I could say whatever I wanted about Muslims. No one would bat an eyelash. YouTube wouldn't shadow ban me or censor me. They wouldn't send me community strikes. I wouldn't get community noted. I'm banned from X. I'm banned from Truth Social. I'm banned pretty much from most of social media for telling the truth. Shocker. And I could go on there and say anything I wanted about Muslims. No problem. Matter of fact, I could bash Muslims verbally. I could verbally bash Muslims, and I would probably get some followers and some clicks and some likes. And I could do the same thing for Christians. I could say anything I wanted about Christians. I could say all the negative stuff I wanted about Christians. I could say anything I wanted about Buddhists. I practice Buddhism every single day. Do my breathing, my meditation, go to the gym twice a day. I could do and say anything I wanted about Buddhists, Christians, or Muslims. But there's one group of people that are protected, that you're not allowed to speak about. And if you do speak about them, you're going to get punished. You're going to get all types of punishment if you speak about this one particular group of people. Now, I'm not sure who said it, but there's a famous saying. Let's see if I can look it up. Let me go do the saying before I look up who said it. But they said, if you want to know who controls you, just find out who you're not allowed to criticize. I think we might be onto something here in the United States of America. So let's see who said that. Let's do some research and see if we can find out who said that. Who said, find out who you can't criticize and who controls you. Let's see if we pull up anyone. Oh, it was Kevin Alfred Strom. And some people think it was Voltaire or George Orwell. But it was written by Kevin Alfred Strom, an American white supremacist and neo-Nazi, in a 1993 radio broadcast. 1993. And the exact quote is, "To learn who rules over you, simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize." Huh. Isn't that ironic? I guess AIPAC really paid off for the good old red, white, and blue, the American citizens, the future of our country, our society. It really worked out for us, huh? Well, let's see. Anyone who does criticize this particular group of people, or anyone affiliated with them, because you just have to support them. You don't even have to actually be in the little cult. If you're an advocate for the cult, if you run propaganda for this cult, this little group of people, you will suffer retaliation. I'm talking, and it's the same modus operandi for the retaliation. Everyone suffers. Everyone. Rich, poor, black, white, doesn't matter. Famous, not famous, doesn't matter. Whether it's me, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, it is the same modus operandi. First, financial attacks. First thing they're going to do is hit you where your money, try to put some lawsuits on you, try to sue you into bankruptcy. For me, they're sending all kinds of notices saying I owe taxes from 2018 to the state of California because it's a state judge that kidnapped and molested my son. So now the state, because here's the truth of the matter. Kelly L. Hansen has thousands of victims over his 17-year career as a serial child rapist. If the truth was to come out of all of his victims over 17 years, it would bankrupt the state of California in one fell swoop. There would be no money. None whatsoever. So, in order to avoid accountability and that almighty dollar, they want to turn loose of that dollar. It's easier to attack me, silence me, discredit me, put me on mental health holds, threaten to kill me. It's easier to attack me via attrition, character assassination, financial attacks, false allegations, all of this nonsense they do, all to avoid accountability for 17 years worth of victims of children of Kelly L. Hansen from Marietta in Riverside County, California. That's the truth. So after the financial attacks, they go straight to character assassination. They call you nut jobs, mental health, right-wing lunatics or whatever, or liberals or Democrats. They got all these little fancy names they call you. I believe Candace Owens was just called nappy-headed by Scary Larry Loomer. So the first thing, and that's the second thing to do, character assassination. Try to completely discredit you. Try to turn everyone against you and make everyone hate you and make you into the bad guy for telling on them and the crimes against humanity they commit. After character assassination, you go straight to mental health. Every time. Mental health, mental health, mental health. Nut job, crazy, crazy, demonic, on and on and on and on and on. I mean, it's just gotten so redundant at this point. It's like the boy who cried wolf. It doesn't even take effect anymore. It is a waste of time. And then after, if none of that works, if they can't financially attack you into homelessness, and if the character assassination doesn't work and you still have people following you or listening to you, or people still believe you in any way, shape, or form, and the mental health doesn't work, again, if people are still listening, people still believe you, then they try to cancel you. And then they just ban you off of social media. They block you. They shadow ban you on YouTube. Make sure your videos aren't put out for people to see, and on and on and on. And this is all while they still kill and destroy on a level never seen before in the history of humanity. And I mean that sincerely. This little tiny group of people that no one can criticize is stealing, killing, and destroying across the world. Not just here, not just there, everywhere, on a level never seen before in the history of humanity. I don't think King Herod was out slaughtering this many people when he was put out the hits on all the babies 2 and under. And that's a Bible story if you didn't know. So this little group of people that are protected, no one can criticize them, no one can tell the truth about them. They get to ravage and rape and pilfer and steal, kill, destroy. They get to do whatever they want, but no one can say anything, criticize them. You can't tell the truth about them. You can't expose them. This little group of protected people have completely destroyed the United States of America, and that's not an exaggeration. Our country's not going to recover from this. There's no more United States of America. This is AIPAC. This is the protected people first, and we know who I'm talking about, the Oompa Loompa Tiny Hat Gang. We're not recovering from this. You can put in all the Thomas Masseys and Rocanas you want. You can do whatever. You get rid of all the Swalwells and Gonzaleses you want. It's done. They have destroyed the United States of America. Not with bombs and bullets. No. Blackmail and bribery. Blackmail and bribery. And our own government destroyed our own country. Talk about don't crap where you eat. The United States government has took the biggest dump in their own kitchen where they prepare their meals. Literally took a dump on their dining plate before dinner was ready. Via AIPAC, via Pfizer, Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all these scumbags, BlackRock. They have literally internally destroyed our own country. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen the destruction by people who live in the place they're destroying. It makes absolutely no sense to me. It's like burning your own house down. And then you're sitting there going, well, my house is burnt down. Now what am I going to do? I don't know what's wrong with these demons. No, I do. They're demons. That's what's wrong with them. So, let's see. This is my notes. I got to work 10 hours, do 2-a-days at the gym, and then come home and take notes and do 30-minute YouTube videos every day to document what my government does to me because my government peddles the flesh of children. No more, no less. We're at day 1713 of this nonsense. So, what's another thing that's mind-boggling to me, mind-blowing, is this little group of people, this little protected group of people, is 5,913 miles away, capital to capital. From our capital to their capital, it's 5,913 miles. And a little group of people that live in a country the size of the state of New Jersey, through bribery and blackmail, have destroyed one of the greatest countries on planet Earth. A free country, founded on God, founded on freedom and liberty and truth and justice. We had all these safe measures and systems in place to prevent this very thing from happening. We had 3 branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. We have all these fail-safes. If one fails, another one can ensure that, none of this stuff is happening. And we are watching the greatest destruction, the fastest fall of a nation in the history of the world, with the exception of Sodom and Gomorrah. And I can see why, because basically we are Sodom and Gomorrah. Have you seen the entertainment? The family structure? Society? Have you seen what's become of our women with Pornhub, OnlyFans, and Brazzers? What are those little dating apps? Swipe, Tinder? How many apps are there out there like that now? How many Tinder apps are there? So, obviously it's going to be a short show tonight. That was a full page of notes. I was watching the Candace Owens and Victor Marx interview just now, and I find it funny that all of these pastors and churches and military and former military and sheriffs and judges and politicians and government agencies like CPS, all of these people peddle the flesh of children, whether it's Victor Marx, TPUSA, Greg Laurie of Harvest Church, CPS, all documented. I've got every bit of it documented. You can go back to my old shows. I document everything. We're basically done as a society, as a country. And the sad part is we don't have to be. I mean, actually, if we would just unite together and decide we're not going to live like this, we're not going to listen to these demons, we're not going to follow these treasonous and seditious laws that they're trying to impose on people, we could reclaim our country and reclaim our society if we would just come together. And let me see if I have this clip. And I have a couple of clips to play, actually. So let's start here. This is Richard Nixon from the 70s.
Let me explain something about what is called the Jewish lobby in this country. Their belief is that being for Israel first, that does not mean you're putting America second. An American president, however, has to approach it in a different way, in my opinion. He's got always to think first of what is best for America. An American president must make a decision that does not, in effect, give the Israelis a blank check. And one example of that is a decision that I made. I decided early on in our administration that we were going to seek good relations with Egypt and others of Israel's neighbors. Many of my Israeli friends didn't like that because they wanted a special relationship with Israel and Israel only. Let me explain.
I wonder if that's why Richard Nixon got impeached. I wonder if that has anything to do with Richard Nixon being impeached. Do you see a pattern forming? JFK blown away, Richard Nixon impeached. But Donald Trump's being pretty good, isn't he? Yeah, he's doing great.
Israel could not survive without the United States. Let's worry about bombing.
I wanted to see if I could find this clip. This one right here.
We need to come together and do one thing: stop participating. And when we do that, the game is over. When we literally say, Monday morning, we're not going to go to work. Imagine if 30 million people didn't go to work Monday. Imagine if 30 million people didn't buy gas on Monday. Imagine if 30 million people went to the bank on Monday and said, I want to withdraw all my money. They can't even give it to all 30 million because only 15% of the cash is available on hand at any given time. The rest is fake zeros and ones. That would collapse the banking system in one day. You see the power in that? You have the power. Well, we all have the power. But what's keeping us back from doing this? Fear. Oh my God, if I don't go to work, I'm going to get fired. And if they don't participate in it, and I'm the only one that doesn't show up for work, I'm going to lose out, and I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. I'm not going to be able to make my car payment, and so forth and so on. Do you see the trap they have us in? They have us in this system where we're afraid to work together. Man, we're brothers. We should be, link up. Let's do this together.
That's the only way we're going to fix this. We're not going to vote our way out of this. The government's not going to save us. Congress isn't going to save us. No, the law enforcement, everything is corrupt. Everything is done. No one is coming to save us. No countries are going to help us. The UK, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. We, the people of the United States of America, are under occupation by a foreign country in our own nation, and we are being punished by a foreign country who has infiltrated our government via blackmail and bribery and are retaliating against we the people because we don't want to live under satanic demonic control. That's the short of it. We don't want to live under a satanic occult. We don't want to live under pedophiles. We don't want to live where we can't afford gas and groceries and rent. We don't want to live where the financial system is a weapon that punishes anyone for telling the truth. We don't want to live where everything is weaponized. The FBI, law enforcement, judges, court systems, politicians, everything has been weaponized against we the people by a foreign country who has bought and paid for our government. Our government sold out. And by selling out to a foreign country, we are now occupied by a foreign country on U.S. soil, which is treason, sedition, and terrorism. That's the truth. So until we come together, we're gonna watch this country burn to the ground day by day. That's what's gonna happen. There's no other way out of this. We either come together as one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We either come together, forget the class warfare, forget the racial warfare, forget the discrimination, forget the sex, forget it all. We either come together as human beings and decide that our country is worth saving and worth fighting for, and we stand as one, whether you got $1 million or $1, whether you're Candace Owens or Walter Bass, whether you're Baron Coleman, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We either come together and unite and say no more. No more. We're not doing this anymore. We want our country back. Or in 5 years, it's going to be 100 times worse than it is now. We're literally going to be slaves if we're even allowed to live. That's the truth. So I'll let you think about that, and I hope everyone thinks about that. And they were talking about the reason we don't do that is fear. So what's the opposite of fear? Faith. So I thought tonight we would close with Hebrews 11, one of my favorite Bible verses. We're going to start with Hebrews 10, the end of 10, and it's going to be 10:38. But my righteous one shall live by faith, and if he shrinks back, my soul has no pleasure in him. That's Jesus saying, you either come all the way or don't come at all. Don't come and then shrink back, because I got nothing for you. That's when you'll hear when your life is over, but Jesus, I did this, and Jesus, I did that, and Jesus will say, depart from me. I never knew you. I never knew you. You pretended. You acted. Yeah. Now on to 11. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The conviction of things not seen. You got to believe in the unseen, and I'm going to get to that. We're going to go for more. For by if the men of old gained approval By faith, we understand that the worlds were prepared by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things which are visible. Which is not made out of things which are visible. And let's be honest, everything you've ever wanted in your life, you didn't have it until you had it in your mind first. The first thing anything originates is right here in your mind. So we can have a free country. We can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We can have truth and justice. We the people, we can have all that. But the only way is if we stand as one. Now, I know who I serve. I know who I belong to, Jesus Christ. And I'm so used to suffering at this point that I've just gotten accustomed to suffering. I just read, work out, pray, meditate. But I would hate in 5 years for everyone to be mumbling and grumbling and saying we should have, we could have, we would have, but we didn't. So at some point, you can't just keep talking. At some point, we the people have to assert our constitutional rights. And we have to make this the law of the land again. Not people. Not people. These aren't people. These are creatures. These are demons. This is satanic. And we all know it. From the rich to the poor, from the famous to the not famous. Everyone knows it around the world. What's going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. I will see you all tomorrow.